All right, so welcome to the 8th BIM talk here at KEA BIMCafe. Today we've got the guys from Ireland who won the WorldSkills Championship in BIM, and they're going to give us a lovely tour of their experiences, their preparations, and everything that had to do with this WorldSkills session. So we've got Gordon, we've also got Luke, who I believe was the champion, as well as his schoolmate Ryan. So if you would like to introduce yourself as well, and can I ask Ryan to put on his camera so we can start the broadcasting?
Okay, thank you very much. Look, I'd just like to say thanks to the BIM Cafe crew for inviting us. It's great. I've been joining in with some of your casts over the last few months, and it's very impressive. And hopefully there now come November, we can join you in the flesh in Copenhagen when we're doing Trivarsity. So that's me sort of looking forward to that. Just going to give you a little bit here just on this image we're looking at. WorldSkills competition, it is a huge competition, and you'll as we go through the presentation, hopefully you'll get to appreciate the size of this competition. It's truly international and global. The 2019 competition was held in Kaizan, which is the capital and largest city in the Republic of Tatarstan, Russia. Population of 1.2 million, and it's the 6th most populous city in Russia. Kaizan lies on the confluence of the Volga and the Kazanka rivers in European Russia. I suppose it's also a confluence where east meets west, and that is really apparent as you maneuvered around the city and the different cultures you came across. Really quite a vibrant and interesting place. What we're looking at there is the mosque and the Kremlin. Okay, and it's officially the 3rd city, I think, in Russia. And Kaizan was one of the host cities for the FIFA 2017 Confederations Cup. It was one of the cities, and the stadium we're going to see where we had our opening and closing ceremonies was one of the football stadiums built for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. And the championship, the 2019 WorldSkills Championship, is in the specially built Kaizan Expo. I'm just going to move on. Okay. And so I'm Gordon Chisholm, architect, technologist, passive designer, and following our time in Kaizan, I was appointed there for Deputy Chief Expert for Shanghai, which is Shanghai 2022 now. 30 years experience, including a real role over the last 15 years teaching and researching within the Department of Architecture and Waterford Institute of Technology, and principal member of the team that's integrating BIM within the wider School of Engineering. Okay, and the key to this is our industry academia links fostered through our BIM Collective Research Group that we established in 2013 and worked with over 100 companies today, helping them implement BIM within their organizations. So I'll pass over to Luke and Ryan. Luke?
Yeah, how are you going, lads? I'm Luke O'Keeffe. I just graduated at Waterford Institute of Technology last year with a first class honours degree in architecture and building information modelling BIM technology. I'm currently I won a gold medal in the Future Skill in BIM at WorldSkills 2019, and I'm currently working with a digital project management company called Geiger Muller Group. Ryan?
Pretty good.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Ryan Dempsey, and as Luke and Gordon, I'm also an architectural technologist. I did my degree in architectural technology in Dublin, in Technical University Dublin, and I graduated in 2018. Since then, I've been working as an architectural technologist and BIM coordinator for an architectural practice in Dublin called Henry J. Lyons. So we're architectural practice that working on multiple projects, residential, commercial, and I got involved in WorldSkills in 2018 from the WorldSkills National BIM competition, and following that, it's been a journey to Kaizan and then to the present day. So at the moment, I'm also doing my master's in TU Dublin for applied BIM management, and just recently enough, I've been accredited with information management practitioner based on ISO 19650, and currently doing some part-time tutoring work in TU Dublin for the architectural technology course, particularly in the course and subject of BIM. So thanks.
Thanks, guys. So we're going to go back to the start, okay? And I suppose for BIM and WorldSkills, the start is 2018. That was the first time BIM was introduced as a world skill, Ireland skills. You can see in the image there, you might be able to pick out Luke and Ryan, okay, and a few other competitors, okay. And it all started with emails, phone calls, and input from Autodesk. And I suppose at this point there, to be saying sort of thanks to the likes of Ray English, who would be a WorldSkills Ireland technical delegate, Matthew Matthews, who's there, who'd be a lecturer in TU Dublin, Matthew Bell, from the head of Global Strategic Alliance, Autodesk, and Philip Muller, Autodesk Education Experiences. You know, these people getting together and looking to, you know, bring new skills to the WorldSkills family. And that first competition was held up in TU Dublin. And I think there might have been, I might be wrong there, but I think maybe 10 students competing in that. Okay, now you can see the crystal trophies or the competitors got for that. That was in a way quickly followed in March 2019, and it was the first time that Ireland Skills had gone live and kind of in a way took the format of sort of the main WorldSkills competitions, where under one roof you had all the competitions being organised and in their own competitive areas. So you had bricklaying in one place, you had air engineer in another, you had beauty therapy, you had restaurant service, welding. Here we were doing BIM stuff there, not far away from us. They were doing welding, for instance. And maybe just it was a world of difference. It was the first time competitors were, for on our side of stuff, were exposed to people walking around and having a look in at them. So, guys, do you want to just let everybody know how how that changed for you, going from one type of competition and then into this arena type setting?
Yeah, I suppose it kind of started off. It was grand up in TUD Dublin when we done the first competition in 2018. Myself and Ryan were in that, but like we were saying there, yeah, there was only 10 people in it, and it was just in a room, so everyone was in there, had their laptop and worked away. Then I went up to kind of a next scale in March 2019 at Ireland Skills, when we kind of got word about, like, as in we could be involved in WorldSkills and the scale of it. And then, so as we went through the competition then in the RDS in Dublin, like, which is massive enough, like, and like Gordon was saying, there's other people competing all around you as well, and even just the sheer volume of visitors coming in around, like you see there's about 18,000 people in and around, walking around you when you're trying to work, like, you know. So it's a bit different than just sitting at your desk, like, you know, working away. But still, even at that, it was nothing of what was to come yet when we went over to Kaizan.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. Experience working. You know, you can kind of see in the image that a couple of the competitors had like really large headphones on to drown out the sound, because I think we happened to be just the next one over was mechanics or something like that, and there was just a lot of machinery going along. So you kind of had to just drown out the sound as much just to stay concentrated. But that was really good. It was great for the Ireland Skills in general, just to get the attraction, and especially for younger students, like trying to get them involved. And I think there was a lot of interest from younger students, particularly in BIM. And so you never know, like, what way their career will go, what way they'll go into college. And it was really interesting. And we also had the President of Ireland visit on the Saturday as well. So he got a tour of the whole arena. But yeah, no, it was a great experience. It was a good tester for what was to come. But in terms of scale, it was like it was absolutely nothing in comparison to what you'll see soon on the following slides.
And I think that's a good point there, Ryan. And when we look there at the 25 skill areas, 123 competitors and 18,000 visitors. So just keep that in mind when we move on there. but that's actually quite a quiet time there. That photograph was taken when a lot of buses would arrive with a lot of secondary school kids coming in and having a look, and the noise level, you couldn't hear the machinery noise for the level of the guys going round, but it was great for them to see it. And I'd recommend it's due to come again in March 2022. So, anybody of school age, get down and have a look. It's quite impressive. Okay, so we just mentioned there, the intention there is the winner of the competition would go through to represent Ireland at WorldSkills Kaizan 2019. Now, BIM is what was under the future skills area, okay, and so we have WorldSkills and you have official skills, and then this future skills area were demonstration skills, and it was run by the Russian Federation, separate to WorldSkills but in tandem, and it was really interesting when you're over there and you go around the tent and see what's going on, but particularly in this tent there, because it was all kinds of high-tech areas going on. So with future skills, the way it worked there was, generally all skills are one-person teams, okay, and we were there for building information modelling. You'll see Ryan there. That was on the screen was the competition model, the project for 2018 national competition. But Russia was organising future skills, and they were keen to have it as a two-person competition. So then it became a point of getting in the two best placed candidates that were in the right age profile. And WorldSkills has an age profile. Different skills have a different age profile, but I think we were under 25. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And some of the skills are under 23. Okay, and every single skill would have this document that is a technical description that sets out what is required in the skill. Okay, so as it turns out, then Ryan and Luke were picked, and myself, and I let the guys go through this because this was a really interesting sort of period getting the team together. So do you want to take it over, guys?
Gordon, you're not sharing your screen.
My screen is sharing.
So you have to pin to this. You have to pin it to your screen.
Yeah, I think you're sharing, Gordon.
Yeah,
It's fine on mine.
Yep.
Yeah. Who wasn't getting it shared?
Yeah, that's it.
James, nice to see you, Gordon.
How you doing?
James Hartley.
Good.
Not bad.
Good there. And is it coming through? Are you on YouTube or are you on Teams?
He's on Teams. James is on Teams.
So it's coming through, and it's coming through on YouTube.
Yes, it's coming out.
I have it now.
Technical problem with
All right,
our
sure,
YouTube
yeah.
broadcast, but
Nice
it's
to
all,
hear you.
It's all sorted out now. Yeah.
Okay, Ryan and Luke, do you want to tell us about these experiences of getting the team together?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, we've each country has a full team, and it can range in numbers of. I mean, we had 17, and like some countries will have 40, 50 people just on different scales. So, we used to have. So we first met up in May, and then we'd have a meet every few weeks. So we'd went May, July, and then August. So we'd meet up at these retreat centres, and just to kind of get to know each other as well, because no one knew each other coming into this. We're all doing single competitions, regardless. With the exception of myself and Luke. So obviously we were the only team that had two people. So we'd meet up every few weeks, and the training was a lot based on kind of preparation for competition, getting your diets right, and just team bonding in general. So it was really professional. Like as you can see on the right hand side, like we all got our suits fitted out, and all kind of real. The badge on the right, the harp. So that was our national symbol. So like it was all really really well organised, and we were all kind of in the best of gear going out to the competition. But it was really
Sorry,
good.
Ryan. I just, when you're going through the team there, I was quite interested there that you got sports psychologists coming up, didn't you?
Yeah, so we had sports psychologists come up that would do exercises with us and kind of visualizations and like to kind of really get into the frame of mind of competition and just getting us ready, trying to visualize, doing exercises to actually visualize us being there whilst we were still in Ireland. So we're kind of just getting that ready, all that preparation, and then so that when we did get to the competition, it wasn't as daunting as you would think, because you're kind of like, you've been playing it over and over and over in your mind so much that when you get there, like, it's just, you're comfortable with it. But that was a really interesting aspect of it, because like the thing with all of these competitions, like, you just assume that you're going in to just do your job, but there's all this other aspect of it to kind of make you a better performer in terms of mental sharpness and even fitness as well, because now myself and Luke are sitting down for the 3 days straight, but some of the other competitors would be on their feet all day. So even for like the likes of bricklaying, so bricklaying was one of the competitions that we had, and constantly on your feet carrying materials and up and down. So like it can be very physically challenging as well as mental. So it was good to get that balance. And it definitely showed through in the end.
Oh, good. And look, I'm going to move on there now, right? And just on how we trained and how we prepped, because every country's different. Every country's got different budgets. And as Luke mentioned there, that some companies have got like 40 odd competitors and more. And so we were quite an intense sort of training regime we went to. And so what I did, I took the standard specification, which is there on the bottom right, and put it in a spreadsheet and give it to the guys and said, right, now can you traffic light, and one of the sort of strategies there was, you don't both have to be good at everything. Identify where your strengths and weaknesses are, and we can work on them during I think we had 5-6 weeks of sort of training time, work on them over that time, and we will have a look and see how the project's going to fall for us. So that was one aspect of it. And in this aspect, we've got Scrum boards, task management. And do you want to just talk through what this is? Because this is your guys, this is your preparation that you were doing.
Yeah, I suppose so. We took the technical description that you're given, so it basically outlines what's exactly involved within the competition and it breaks it up into the stages. So you basically have an idea that, okay, there's 6 different types of stages in the competition, and then basically gives a list of potential things you could be asked to do within the stage. So we took that anyways, and we broke it down to a list of every item. So we gave every item its own kind of list, and then we put names against it. So as we were working down through them, so say if we kind of made decisions early on of what I was going to do throughout the competition and what Ryan was going to do, and we kind of broke it down that way, and then we just made up lists of stuff that we still need to do, stuff that we're doing at the moment, and stuff that we completed, and then obviously you just keep ticking it off, and then keep referring back to that list that was up the last time of the traffic light approach, as in areas where you weren't as strong in, keep on top of them, keep tipping away at them, and then the areas that you were a bit more stronger and just kind of approach them just kind of as you're coming up to the end. But it's important just to plan out ahead, lay out exactly everything that needs to be done, and just kind of delegate between us who was doing what, like.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things for the training was that because we were under time constraints in the competition, so we were like, as you can see on the right hand side, we were taking on a task. In that example, it was a structural model, and we were timing ourselves how long it took to get from start to finish, and like we were kind of being really, really strict with it, because we knew in the competition that like we'd be so caught on time, and we didn't know, like in this instance we were working on a project that we knew what it was in the training, but the thing about the competitions was you didn't actually know what the building was until you got there. So it was about being comfortable with every single command and knowing exactly what you're going to do regardless of the building. So we just kind of we were really strict with it, which did lead to some frustration sometimes if we weren't we weren't particularly getting things on time. But I think it just made us want to do it even harder and harder and just keep going until we got it. And another big resource that we had, on the left-hand side, just on the bottom, we can see phasing and design options using the LinkedIn course. So that was like a massive resource that we used throughout the competition, just to stay sharp on every bit. And we also had like industry people come in. So every few weeks we'd have someone from industry come in and just bring their knowledge and give us workshops on the likes of Navisworks or structural modelling, or just anything in general, just to kind of get us all kind of stepping up a level from professional level, because we're both coming from educational background, so it was good to get that balance, and it was really helpful.
Very good. I'm just going to pop on there, and I think it's a very good point there. In a way, you know, we were working in the dark. It was the first time a competition had gone in. All we had was these module breakdowns at this point of what was set out in the technical description. So module 1, understanding BIM execution plan and the CDE, setting that up. Module 2, architectural module. Module 3, the structural model. Module 4, BIM coordination. Module 5, corrective modeling, and module 6, visualization. And that's really what we had to go on. So it was really good. We had really good input from industry. So we had BAM going through some stuff with us. We had Kilgallen engineers helping us out in structural stuff, which was really helped because actually, as it turned out, there was a big chunk of reinforcing to be modelled in the project. So that helped us there. We had Diatech come in and help us, and we had Tech Data, Datech, in helping us, and that really did help a lot. And we took our sessions, so every other week we'd meet up in Kilkenny, because it seemed to be on the most part the easiest place for us all to get to, and we had sessions in there up at Kieran's College, and yeah, no, it was good, and we got good discussions out of it. And as I say, we were kind of in the dark and trying to second guess what was going to happen. I just coming up there just to go back there a little bit to the training, and I think, is that yours, Ryan? That your food and drink and fitness diary?
I just have a bit of delay, but yeah, sorry. So here we go. So one of the kind of the things I touched on, we had to issue food diaries and like training programs every week or month. No, sorry, it was every week. Yeah, so we get one of our trainers was like really pushing us to be like as strong as well, not strong, but like just be as fit as possible, just for that kind of extra bit of sharpness in the competition. So we had to fill out these food diaries every week, which when you tell people, when they're trying to make the connection between the BIM competition and fitness, like they just don't see it, but it was actually really useful. They end up picking up some really good habits from it, in terms of like exercising, or just being mindful of your diets. But yeah, that was a really sort of unique aspect of the whole training program.
Yeah, and I think in fairness to you as a whole team, you know, there was a real restriction, and it was self-restricted on going out and drinking and partying, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Gordon, not to abrupt you in the middle of your talk here, but in order to achieve everything, I know you have so many slides and so much to go on with this amazing journey. We're unfortunately going to have to move a bit quicker.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. I'll move on a bit faster. So we got to the test project. Right. We finally got issued the test project, which gave us more breakdown of what we're going. I'll speak a wee bit faster myself here than now before bringing the guys in. Okay. And the test project then set out, we got to see how many days and which days the elements were going to be taken on board. And you'll see that on that coloured chart just down at the bottom, that bar graph, that there's some codes. So each day in the competition, we could have a competitor time where I could only meet with the competitors for 50 minutes in the morning and 50 minutes in the evening. And we could not converse at any other times. I'm just saying there, we're 22 minutes in. Okay, And the guys had planned out how things were going to work, who was doing which models, okay? And this would be the WorldSkills program from C-7, so prior to the competition, 7 days before it, through to the 4 days of competition and the 2 days afterwards, okay? And I will click on here, just more images of Kaizan that we'd seen before. And I think I'll bring the guys in here because this is where you guys stayed, up in the competitors' village. Okay, you guys were in what's called bubble to bubble. You were bussed between the competitors' village and the main Kaizan arena. So you just let us know a little bit about what it was like in there, please.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, like I was saying, there, all the competitors from every nation stayed in one village. It was a big, massive, big complex. There was about 28 buildings in there, and like you see there, there was almost 5,500 people staying in there. It had everything in there: sports facilities, supermarkets, canteens, salons. Also, in the center of it, then as well, there was kind of like a big stage where in the evening time there was like a sort of like a concert on every day. There was kind of live acts going on every evening. There was just events going on the whole time within there. It was actually just really beneficial as well to go in around and actually, because you're there and you're mingling with other countries and other nationalities as well. Like, you know, you actually get you spot your competitors as well, and you're just keeping an eye on everything that's going on out there as well. Like, you know,
it was really strict. It was really maximum security because like you couldn't get in or out without a pass. We all had these passes. They had to scan in every time, and you weren't actually allowed to leave the compounds at this specific time. So like every morning there was a bus that would take you to the arena where you'd compete, and then every evening you'd be brought home. So there wasn't as much freedom until the competition was over.
Yeah, I think the village itself was guarded 24/7 by the Russian army, and then we were, like Gordon saying, bubble to bubble. So when we get on the bus in the morning to go to the competition, all doors and everything is sealed on the bus until you arrive at the competition, so they know that no one's been tampering with it.
And that's just the blue arrow there. You guys doing the flag raising competition, the flag raising ceremony, which is there. And I think that's your interpreter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just move on there just to give you a sense of scale. So this was the Kaizan Expo where it was held. Okay. And you'll see in that Google Maps image in the middle, underneath where it says Kaizan, and you'll see the aircraft. They're probably Boeing 737s there. Okay. But just as a guide, that red box is the size of the RDS where WorldSkills was held. So it was vast. Okay. We had the competition area now, so we were in one large area, which was actually similar to the size of the whole of the RDS for the future skills section. So we had there, just up in the top left, in our skills area, we have Dimitri, who's the skills area technician, who was invaluable. And then we go along and there is Anna, translator, who again was invaluable. And I look in there, we've got 2 translators so far for having the number of countries we've got in Shanghai. Darina from Belarus, Paul from Poland, Liliana from Singapore, and myself, and Alexei, who was the Russian expert and also the chief expert. Okay, and just over on the right there is some images of Luke being interviewed for Russian national TV, the equivalent of the 6-1 News as we have in Ireland. And we had, as we went through, we were getting all the competitors and all the experts set up on what was happening. Okay, and I'll clip on a few of them here now, guys. Well, you need to speak about this because the experts didn't go to this. This was your one school, one country. Give me a brief description of what was going on.
Yes, I suppose every country that goes over to Russia and competing in WorldSkills is paired up with a country or with a school over there. Sorry, and basically, like, the school knows with over a year in advance that you're coming. So you can see down the image on the bottom right, like they actually planted a flower bed, same colour as the tricolour, so the same colour as the Irish flag. And it was unreal. The minute we went off the bus, we walked in and they were just singing songs, dancing, giving us kind of a taste of the local culture there as well, and also bring us out a couple of bits of food, like, you know.
Okay, and then I'll just move on now into the sort of.
Raring to go. Just want to get in there now. I think we've done all the hard work, and we've had a preparation day yesterday, so we got to go in and sit down at our desks and just get everything set up. So it's good, just get everything set up now. We're just raring to go. Get in there, get stuck in, and hopefully we'll do well.
Oh, it's just amazing. Like there's a real buzz around the place. Like, you know, everyone's just so friendly over here. It's just unreal. Just, like Ryan was saying, like all the hard work's put in now. It's just a matter of going in, competing, and hopefully coming out on top.
So I'm just going to, you know, there we go. Just thinking back to the competition in Ireland, and the difference there were 1,350 competitors, 272,000 visitors, and that's us sitting there waiting for the Irish team to come out. Very much like Olympics. Very impressive setup. That's the French team in blue. You can see the size of the French team there in comparison to
I think Gordon froze a little bit. Guys, if you can take over talking about this main arena that we're still seeing on the screen again.
Yeah, so so this was the opening ceremony, and this is the football stadium that Gordon was alluding to earlier on. So each team would come out and they'd have a flag, doing the flag bearing, and they'd all come out they'd all be kind of behind the scenes until you get called out, and then each team would walk down, do a lap, and then just sit down in front of the stage, and there was a lot of just all shows and music events, and myself and Luke weren't a part of this because we were under the Future Skills, and Future Skills is basically the skills that haven't been upgraded to a world skill as such. So it's kind of like a trial version for the skills, and so because myself and Luke were part of that, we were actually allowed to go into the team with the team, so that was a pity.
Oh, we lost Gordon there, I'm sorry to say. I think he disconnected out. We'll get the PowerPoint up and running from our side, and then we'll move on with it. Just to let you know, James, you've been put up as part of the presentation now, the most Irish face we've got here. And yeah. Give us a second and we will get everything right back to you.
I'm just going to change it here. So
yeah, so I kind of just, as I touched on, is it gone again? Whose screen is sharing that?
It is us here at the studio, but it's a bit of a mess right now. Yeah, do you see it?
Yeah.
Good to go. So that's the competition area, or the opening ceremony. If you'll move on, Joelle, and we can get talking about the next things. I take it this is a video, but the competition itself, please.
Yeah. So we had the competition. It was over 3.5 days, and as Gordon mentioned, we were all at our own desk. We were all pretty much spaced out, so it was like 2 meters apart, which is kind of funny looking back, considering social distancing and everything now. So every morning Gordon would come in and we'd have 15 minutes with him to have a chat about what we're going to do. The start of the project, we were issued a BEP and a project brief, and basically just showing us at the very start as well. We had a presentation, so where Gordon is presenting there, they were basically showing us what the building was, and then they go off and it would be all on our machines. We would be able to then, we had references images as well, so we could look back and kind of know exactly what we needed to deliver. So that was like every morning. So we kind of just split our work up. The competition involves like sort of data drops every day. So the first one was like day one was to have the CDD set up, and then day 1 and day 2 would have the modeling, and then the following day would be a mixture of coordination and then visualization. So you had to kind of have the model finished by the second day, and then we actually from this you can't really see, but before we went over, Gordon flew over a few days ahead of us, and he said that the keyboards over there were actually Russian. They had a mixture of the Russian alphabet and the English alphabet, so we had to bring our own keyboards over because it was just going to be too confusing. So we just walked in and brought our own keyboard and our own mouse, and they weren't really too impressed that we did that. But it just made things a lot easier for us, a lot faster. I think it would have been a bit confusing to see a mixture of letters on your keyboard as you're typing away. But Luke, do you have anything to add?
No, I suppose you can just go down on the next slide there.
Yeah.
Similar enough, just a couple of similar pictures like of but yeah, like that, like we were to have no communication with Gordon at all throughout the day, only the 15 minutes before the competition and 15 minutes kind of afterwards. Even in the evenings, we're still not allowed contacting or being kind of any sort of communication. Just almost like back there, you can see that there was a Minister of Education, John Halligan, was over at the event as well, and he was there. He was in front of us as well, like as we're working away. But I mean, like because again, Ryan was kind of saying earlier, the minute you have the headphones on, you're just in the zone. That's it. You don't even care about who's around or whatever. You're just working away because, especially with huge crowds that are there, you just don't bother focusing on any of that. You just be head on the competition. I suppose then, just in terms of this slide, then that's just an image of the building itself. So it was a 7-story hotel. We had 3 hours to do the model. So we had to do an architectural model, then a structural model, I think it was. And then just down there, then you just have a couple of other pictures of Gordon talking with the deputy chief expert and also then with the other experts.
Yeah, so with
Ryan, right now, as we don't have Gordon in the call, just please let me know when you want the slides, and we'll move on.
Yeah, click on there,
Yeah. Just on the competition itself, so we were using BIM 360 as our common data environment. So, obviously we had to, all of our submissions were through BIM 360. And then so once we got the modeling out of the way, we split ourselves up. So Luke did the architectural and I did the structural. So once we got that finished, we were both going to tackle on the coordination. They took is there an echo? Come back.
I'm back in now.
I can just hear myself talk. It's coming back as feedback. I don't know who that's from. Yeah, I think it's okay now. But basically on the coordination day, they gave us fresh models because it was to make it fair, because you couldn't, if you didn't get the model finished on the previous days, and you wouldn't, and there's just something you didn't get finished, like you wouldn't be able to do a full coordination check. So they supplied us with architectural, structural, and an MEP model. And we had to do the checks. But what they did, what was one of the errors in the project, was that they gave us a model that the elevation was set to 0, whereas our elevation in the project was 20 meters. So we had models coming in as Navisworks. One was like way below, and the rest of them are in the correct orientation and elevation. So, but we were actually told we weren't allowed to edit the models. So there's a bit of confusion over that, and we ended up getting extra time allocated because there was so much waiting around to find out what we could do, because it was slowing us all down. But the thing with Navisworks, like obviously you can't work together at the same time in a collaborative file, but what we had to do was do architectural versus MEP and then structure versus MEP. So myself and Luke sort of had to be a bit clever about it. So we did 2 clash models, structural and architectural, with the MEP, and then so they were our NWF files, and our submission was to submit an NWD file, just a federated file in the end with all the clash tests in it. So we basically used the NWF files to spit out the clash tests in the HTML, HTML files, and then the final submission was taking all that clash test into the one file and creating a federated file. So we were able to work twice as quick, just to be a bit clever about it. So I think that really helped us as well. There was another module as well, which was corrective modeling, but there was an issue with that. I think there's something they were supposed to provide us with something, and they didn't have. There was confusion over whether the competitor was the. Gordon, can you remember? It was.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hearing you fine, Gordon.
Yeah. It was an element to the test that the experts were expecting the company that provided the test project to provide, and the company that would provide the test project thought that was an element the experts were providing. So that's what happened with that one.
Yeah, so we ended up having extra time allocated. That's how the competition was actually cut back, because it was supposed to be 4 days and they scaled it back because there was one less module. And I think the last module then was visualization. So we had to do either two internal, it was an external and internal render, a solar study, and then we just had time left, so we did a nighttime render as well, just to get as much as possible. So it was fairly intense. Like you had probably one break, you had a break every few hours, but you didn't really want to get up during the competition to take a break because you were just so under the cosh to get it done. And the little setup was really good that you didn't really have to leave your area, because they had all snacks and waters and teas and coffees all in that little arena, that little section that we're in there. So you didn't really have to do much leaving of the arena, but it was good to just get an hour during lunch just to stretch the legs.
So this was we were in the future skills area. So the awards for the future skills was on the evening of competition day 4, the last day of competition. And you want to just talk through this experience, guys, because this is a kind of once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah, I suppose this was afterwards. At the time, there were still actually 1 or 2 competitors from Team Ireland still competing, but it was good that the majority of the team were there in the audience for it. But we went in anyways, and when we arrived there, we realised and we were told that the award ceremony was going to take place in Russian. So we were there and we were given an earpiece when we walked in for when we sit down to put in the earpiece so we can hear everything directly translated into English. And so as the competition went on anyways, it was a bit confusing, and they listed up that BIM was going to be the first skill to be announced. So that was grand anyways, and then we just seen our names coming up to being nominated in the top 3, so they called the top 3 from each skill up onto the stage. So that was grand. Then we went up onto the stage, but the minute we heard our names, we ripped out the earpiece, threw it on the floor, went up onto the stage, and we were just up there then, and they were still talking away in Russian, and me and Ryan didn't have a clue what was going on, but the Russian competitors obviously did, and the 2 girls from Belarus, they knew what was going on as well. We were just standing up there, and he called out the Russian competitors first, and I didn't know what way they were going to do it, if they're doing it in reverse order or if they're just announcing the winner. But in the end of the day, they walked up and they stood on the 2nd place podium, and I was wondering what's going on. Then next minute, then you just see a big cheer from the Irish crowd down below, and they called out the names of the Belarus girls, and I was thinking just something going on, and next, and then they just walked forward and stood up in the 2nd place as well then. And for sure we didn't realise, but there was a screen behind us saying already after announcing that we were the winners. But myself and Ryan didn't see it at all. We were still just looking out at the audience. And next, and then he finally called out our names, and we walked up and just stood on top. It was something else. Never experienced it again, I don't think.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of a delay when we got up there. It took a while because the Belarus and Russian team, they both came joint second. So as you can see, they got silver. So that was a bit of a delay. So actually, it took a while to register when you were up there that we had actually won. The crowd, the Irish supporters that we had, the team, they were all shouting. but we still hadn't registered. We were just standing there, a bit clueless at the top, and it took a while for it to sink in.
Yeah, and I don't know who's playing the slides at the minute.
It is Joelle.
Joelle, how you doing? I don't know, the one on the right's a wee video, but we can maybe skip on there. The what was really good about that evening in a way was they had their teammates around them, and that was the first night that we could actually, you know, the guys could get out of camp because all the competitions were finished at that point. So we got an interview there on social TV again, that would have been broadcast back to Ireland, and we had just a really good bit of celebrating. It was everybody could let off a bit of steam at that point because they'd all finished their competitions. I think as well, am I right in saying, I forget your colleague's name there, but just behind you, Luke, there, did cut his hand in carpentry quite badly, but still managed to get finished off just in the last kind of moments of the competition. So yeah, no, a really good time there. Do you want to move it on there? I'm just conscious of the time for us. So I don't know if you want to do the play from the slideshow from the slide, do you?
Unfortunately, Gordon, we can't really run any audio from our slideshow since it's not sharing it as it's supposed to. But you just have to talk us through it, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Okay. So we had the award ceremony on the following evening, and again that was back in the Kaizan arena. Sorry, the Kaizan arena. It was the Kaizan arena.
Yep.
And just going through there, how Ireland had done for a small team, 2 golds, 1 bronze, 7 medallions of excellence, and 10th place overall in the whole competition. And that didn't include the medals the guys won in future skills. So the whole team did really well, and that 10th place comes from everybody that's in the team scores aggregated. So every single person, whether they won a medal or a medal of excellence, all contributed to that 10th place. So it was a really good team effort, and you could see it in the guys there working as a team. So that there, you can Google that video. It's an excellent video on the award ceremony, and you really get a sense of what it means to the competitors.
Okay, I saw it before we were doing this, so quite impressive. Oh, it's running now.
Welcome to the award ceremony of WorldSkills 2019.
So what they had for everybody there,
all of you,
and the award ceremony going on, and you see there the joy, and I ask you to it's a very special time for everybody involved, and I think the closing ceremony there was by Putin, Medved with the opening ceremony. And again, it really is. I mean, we're going to get on to how it's affected the guys when they finish, but it has an impact to go over and do these type of competitions. We'll move on there. I'm conscious of the time there as well. Bring up my watch. What we're doing. Yeah, so that was us getting back to the airport. Okay, we had Minister Halligan met us again. In one of the interviews, and you'll find it on YouTube, Ryan asked Michael D to get kettle on. Michael D is our president in Ireland, and my only regret there is I didn't ask him for my citizenship at the time. It was my opportunity, and I missed it. But we might get it again. Do you want to move on? And there, guys, so you want to just talk about coming back, the experience at the airport, and then going up to their office. Not their office.
Or some
just go back a slide.
Yeah, I suppose when we came back from the airport, is just 2 minutes up by the top left there. And we're invited to attend numerous events. You'll probably see as the slides go on. But I think the main one is the couple on this slide as well. Is when we went up to Oras an Uachtaráin, the whole Team Ireland, all competitors and experts, and we just went up and met the president. Again, it was something special as well, because it's not something you get to do every day, like, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, just keep going, guys, because this was all
so
stuff.
this was a couple. I'd say you stop on this one. So go to the next one, please. So make sure that these two events are these two slides. So we've invited to a lot of events, and a lot of people wanted to hear the story and to share the experience. So these two events, the CISC Supply Chain Awards, because CISC, massive contractor in Ireland and the UK, but their supply chain, they're one of the sponsors of WorldSkills Ireland. So the man on the top right beside, that's Donald. He organised and then Dave Tracy as well. He organised as well. So we were able to go in and meet a lot of people there, and they go up and say a few words, and just to. There's the bottom left one is from the Construction Industry Federation, which is a massive event in Croke Park, one of the national stadiums. So for the GAA, so they were really good to get out. And the next slide, please. So this was kind of the thing with the other events we were speaking at. They were more kind of like construction as a whole, but these events, these are the KEA BIM gathering and also the ProCAD event. So the thing was, when we were trying to talk to someone who's not aware of construction or BIM in general, trying to explain the competition to them, it was really difficult to get them understanding of it. So when we came to these events in particular, it was actually really easy to communicate how the competition went, because they're all familiar with the BIM process and what was involved. Like it was just really smooth how it went. But we were actually invited up to the stage to do a 20-minute presentation. So that was a really great experience, and it was a great way to network and also get potential job opportunities as well.
Yeah. And I think there at that one as well, it was great for education to get a presentation at the top stage. Usually, education at these conferences are away down in the back room, so it was great to be up front and central. There you go.
So I suppose that's just a slide about myself, where I kind of am now at the moment after the competition. So I suppose I'm currently working for a company called Gaga Muller Group. We're a digital project management company, and they're working in 8 countries across the globe, including Ireland, UK, Northern Ireland, and Northern Europe. We've secured work in project management and project delivery with combined value in excess of 5 billion. Some key aspects that we focus on are kind of 3D modeling coordination, 4D phasing and sequencing, 5D cost management. We also do a review of design analysis, value engineering, buildability reviews. We also look at modularization with full DFMA, and we also look at considerations of applications of lessons learned. But also within Gaga Muller Group, there's Plan Loader. So that's kind of like a location-based resource management platform. So it promotes the techniques used by a last planner, and just linked up to a schedule where you can manage and delegate work with customizable approval processes for cross-project and organization reporting. And then lastly, then as part of it is source trace. So it's kind of mainly came into effect with regards to the COVID-19. It's a wearable tech solution that encourages social distancing on site, and kind of warns the workforce to continuously adhere to social distancing guidelines with light and sound vibration alerts if on every breach of a 2-meter social distancing. So then all breaches of all durations are recorded and stored for full trace of history of close contacts in the event of a positive case on site.
Next slide, please, Joe.
Yeah, so just kind of as I touched on in the beginning, I'm currently working for architectural practice called Henry J. Lyons, and we're based in Ireland, Cork, and some projects in the UK as well. And recently enough, we've won a competition for to do the Irish Embassy in Tokyo. So that's been kind of where I'm at the moment, doing my own role as architectural technologist and BIM coordinator. Kind of, as you see, like I'm doing my master's in applied BIM management. So eventually I'll be moving into that BIM management role full time. So as you can see as well at the bottom, we're kind of progressing my information management skills by taking the course of on ISO 19650. So that's where I'm at now, and for the time being.
Okay, thanks, guys. I suppose I'm just going to briefly, as I've seen, I'm thinking coming up with 5 minutes left, and I see James, he said there that his first job was at Henry J. Lyons as well. So there you go. WorldSkills Shanghai is October 2022. And if we just move on to the next slide, I'm just conscious that we've got people joining us from around the world there who may be interested in getting involved into Shanghai. And the best way of doing that is to get onto WorldSkills website. If you go to worldskills.org/members, you should be able to find your country that's affiliated with WorldSkills and find your technical delegate there to make representation to. So far, there's 16 countries signed up for Shanghai 2022. So that's looking really good. As mentioned later on, we got 2 translators, and I know from being over there that some of the competitions with large numbers of competitors, you can end up with 4 or 5 or more translators translating between each other. As I did point out there recently, it does see why C3PO was invented, because it could be difficult. So at the bottom of that list there's a link to Autodesk University, where Malachy Matthews, myself, and UK BIM Skills Maguire had done a presentation. Okay, Michael Maguire, sorry Michael. And we did a presentation on EU that goes through a lot of how to get involved and get set up there, and Michael goes through how the UK have set up their network. Okay, and just on the next one, unless you want to stop for time, but the last few slides are really just to go through how Autodesk can help and get involved. So you got your typical workflow for WorldSkills of getting organised and then having regional events, national events, and international events in order to select your team. We've kind of gone through the competencies earlier on, so hop on to the next one, and that's just the software for Shanghai 2022, Revit, Navisworks, BIM Collaborate Pro, BIM Interoperability Tools, and Enscape. Okay, and really useful. It's been organised. The Autodesk had engaged with Michael Maguire at New College Lanark to produce a series of training videos of a step-by-step guide how to go through a WorldSkills national competition. Okay, I think they'll be getting made available fairly soon from Autodesk. And on to the next one. Thanks. So just thinking about the certification, if you just go to the next image there, just, you know, because a lot of people might have done certification or thought about it, and just kind of where the certification standard would fit within the WorldSkills competition levels. So you can see there in blue the 2 certs, and then we've got WorldSkills regional, national, and international. So that gives you a kind of sort of a marker in terms of a level to reach. Okay, and we're nearly done. Okay, So we just go skip over there. We've got the certified user and then the professional. And then the last slide is questions and answers. Okay.
Well,
So
thank you very much.
everybody.
Thank you very much for
Brian and Luke.
presenting this whole journey with here to us at BIMCafe and on the internet and everything. It's quite an astonishing journey, right? It's what we all dream of when you're really interested in BIM, right? That you get this computational BIM side of it. It's not just a thing we're doing in school, but there's so much more to it. So we do have a few questions, and I'm going to take the first one here from our classmates, if you will give me a second. So
Well, I can see a question up there at the minute.
Can you see a question?
Christian, sorry?
Yeah, one from James.
Can't see fuck all.
Explain the CD setup. So yeah, our CD setup was based off ISO 19650, using the work in progress, shared and published in archive states. So that, yeah, that's how we set up. We were kind of we had known that it was going to be used in the training, so we were just always setting up in the same way. We weren't using BIM 360 full suite of modules. It was just document management. So in terms of design collaboration, we weren't actually using that.
That's cool. We've got another question here from our teacher, James. If you can explain the CDE setup and explain what a CDE actually is, because I've got no clue.
Okay. Sorry. So CDE is a common data environment. So it's used as a platform where information is shared in a project. So it works through 4 main states. So you've got work in progress, shared, published, and archived. So when information goes up in a project from different task teams, firstly it goes up to work in progress, and then when you're sharing that information, any information that has a specific state, so suitable for coordination, for example, that information gets put up and it becomes available to other task teams to use. So that's how we were using it. It was based off ISO 19650, like obviously originally BS 1192, but that was what we were using, and it was the document management from BIM 360 that was used for it.
I've got another, and thank you. I've got another interesting question from Yannick. He's asking any recommendations in terms of getting better at using BIM and Revit, YouTubers, books, videos, and whatever. This is one that's really close to me as well, because I have the questions: how much did you script in Dynamo or any other software programming to get to the stage?
Using Dynamo, so we were using. Competition was just strictly Revit.
All right, so it was banned. You couldn't use it.
Yeah, even though it's become part of the Revit, like software, it's in the managed tab. Obviously it's in the managed tab, but it was just strictly Revit. So everything was modeled. So it was like there wasn't really much automation as such, but and that even included for the renders as well. So we were doing out of the box renders for Revit. Instead of using the likes of Enscape, but it was just all pure Autodesk products that we were using, the likes of Navisworks as well. It was just Revit and Navisworks were the main 2 softwares we were using.
That's cool. I've got a
recommend. Yeah. LinkedIn is a great resource for getting better at Revit. That's what I thought was the best, and YouTube as well. Obviously, is a great resource. Probably the best thing is just to have a second screen, do a course, and have like your tutorials on the left, and just model away and get better. I thought that LinkedIn was probably the best resource that I've used, and it's good for when you're not, even if you already know something, like not know it completely, but it's always good to go back on it and you get like a refresher as well.
I agree. To move on to the next question from Rui here, we've got a question about the way that you planned your work here at the WorldSkills. Did you plan the modelling methods, procedures, and the requirements to yourself, and also the interference checking strategy?
Yeah, so I suppose kind of
Yeah,
before,
Luke, take that.
yeah, before we went over, we kind of did have a list of everything that needs to be done. So obviously, when we looked at architectural, me and Ryan sat down as well as Gordon, and we kind of done up a list on the board, or like you've seen there, of list out what exactly do you have to do. You'll have walls, you'll have roofs, you'll have floors, and we kind of went down layer by layer and kind of involved what's involved in setting everything up. And from there, then since the projects were hosted on BIM 360, we could have been working in the same model and do work sharing, but we decided that we wouldn't, and that we'd be faster if we just kept the two models separate. So that means then that once we had everything set up, we listed out everything that we need to get done, then we just broke it down. So even for the likes of Ryan was focusing more on the structural side of things. So we looked in, right, so what you'll have columns, and then right, what's the best method of modeling columns? Are they concrete? Are they steel? In this case, there was reinforcement required as well. So we kind of just listed out absolutely everything possible, and then like that, then we just blasted through it all, just try practice it, get better at it. And even like that, as in, like Ryan was saying, yeah, LinkedIn does have some good resources, but there's nothing better than just actually becoming familiar with the software yourself and keyboard shortcuts, just you know where everything is, and you know, you just become more proficient yourself. Like you could know how to do everything, but you need to be that bit proficient as well, like, you know, if you want to progress on. But then in terms of interference checks, for the competition, no, we didn't really look at the interference checks within Revit, as it wasn't necessary. Because like that, we had a list of everything that you're kind of given kind of a marketing scheme as well, and you're judging yourself off of that. I would say, like, right, if this is valued at that much, how much time and effort are you going to put into it? Like, you know.
We have a question.
Yeah, the actual interference, like, so the tolerance strategy, so the clash checks that we had to do, so they were issued to us in the project brief and the BEP. So they gave us the models on the day, so the MEP, architectural, structural, and then they set the tolerance that had to be checked against each set. So it was, for example, it was like ducts versus walls, ceilings versus pipes. So it was all that. This was all like predefined, but we just had to go off and do the clash sets ourselves.
Thanks, Ryan. We have another question here from Christian. Christian is an international student at KEA, and he asks, do international students that wish to participate in this competition have to represent their own country, or they can represent the country they are studying in?
No, that can actually change. We had a competitor, Olivier, he was actually a French student. He's from France, and he had been studying in Dublin, so he was actually qualifying to compete under Ireland because that's where his education was based, and he actually won a gold medal in cloud computing. So it was really interesting that he was one of our top competitors, and he wasn't even Irish. But so in that instance, I'm pretty sure it's a bit of a flexibility.
You need to check with each. Yeah, you need to check with each national organisation. They may have different rules for how they select their candidates, their competitors. But certainly in Ireland, it's where you're studying.
All right.
Okay.
And I think we are.
I think that is most of our questions.
Yeah.
Then we're just going to do a shout out here in the end. I'm going to tell everyone to stay connected with KEA BIMCafe, and you can do that on both this LinkedIn, our LinkedIn profile, and the YouTube that you're seeing this on. Also, for KEA students, you will see the KEA BIM Teams on Microsoft Teams, where we've got the next things planned, and we've got a lot of other BIM talks like this one planned. 2 weeks.
The next one is actually going to be 2 weeks from now, and we're going to have Ricardo Farinha from Sweco, Finland, digital director.
Can you hear me, João?
Yeah, go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah, no, tell put a question in.
All right,
I can answer it for him.
Go ahead, yes.
Can you only take part in the event when you were in an education. No, you can be graduated as long as you're under 25 for the BIM competition in the year of the competition.
And you can apply yourself
Okay.
into the regionals, right, and to the nationals.
Yeah, but you can go to, you know, like the guys were well, Ryan, you were graduated by the time we went to Kaizan.
Yeah, so when I graduated in 2018 and the national competition, the second one was in March of 2019. So I was involved back because I had won the previous one, but I was already graduated, but I was still under the age limit, so I was able to compete. And then Luke's still eligible for the next one because we were just discussing before this that because of obviously everything with the coronavirus and all the events being postponed, they've sort of frozen the age limit. So Luke should be able to be eligible for the next one, even though he'll be technically over the age, or well, you won't be over the age, won't you, Luke?
No.
But,
Gordon, do you have any platforms that we wish to shout out and say who you can connect with us or your team?
Yeah. Well, I just put up there my email address. Really for anybody who wants to get into WorldSkills to link in with their country organisations on that on the members page, and you can drop me an email. It's up there, or drop me a message through LinkedIn.
I'll have to ask you to repost that, Gordon, in the Teams channel. Otherwise, no one's getting it because I don't see it in the chat.
Okay. Let me just come to my.
We'll put it on the YouTube comments as well. After, yeah. We'll put it on the video on YouTube on the comments, under the comments.
I will copy that in.
Well, thank you very much for participating here with us at KEA BIMCafe. It was quite cool to learn about this journey and everything that happened and what's going on. And stay tuned for the next event.
Yeah, and sorry about my broadband.
That's all right. That's all right.
thanks very much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed.
And best of luck to you if you're competing at the next one, Luke, as well. And
hopefully we'll see have some competition from KEA. Yeah, that's the goal.
Good luck with your education anyway.
Thank you.
I'll still.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ryan. We'll talk to you soon, guys.
Perfect. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.